Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our national anthem. Gentlemen, it's customary for you to remove your caps during the singing of the anthem. The anthem will be sung by Ms. Devin Belliger. Please be seated. Thank you, Devin. Good afternoon. I'm Dean Patricia Chase, and on behalf of the faculty and staff of the WVU School of Pharmacy, I'm very pleased to welcome you, class of 2014, and your loved ones and guests to this very special occasion. I'd also like to say, happy birthday, WVU School of Pharmacy. 2014 marks our 100th birthday, and this is a really big year for the school. Because of this milestone, this class, the class of 2014, has been called lovingly since the very beginning our centennial class. This is indeed a very special commencement. You know, one of the wonderful things about the school providing 100 years of pharmacy education is that we have generations of pharmacy families who are alumni. Several of our graduates, I think a record number, 11 family members, will be hooding their loved ones today and celebrating graduation. But more about that in a few minutes. Today, our special guests include Dr. Christopher Kalenda, VP and Chancellor of the Health Sciences, Ms. Patricia Johnston, a 1977 alumna of the School of Pharmacy, Dr. Jason Turner, class of 2003, and President-elect, or President of the West Virginia Pharmacists Association, and Dr. John Wheatholder, who is President-elect of the West Virginia Society of Health System Pharmacists. Drs. Turner and Wheatholder will be administering the oath of the pharmacist to our brand new pharmacists. Dr. Kent Hunter, class of 1984 and president of the WVU Alumni Association, will present the alumni charge. Our university marshals, the faculty that get to wear those really cute poofy hats, are Dr. Charles Ponte and Peter Gannett. Our flag bearer, who led the processional today, is Dr. Caitlin Marie Andrews, Ms. Caitlin Marie Andrews, member of the class of 2014. I would also like to mention that our ceremony is being recorded for those who cannot be here today, and it will be posted in the West Virginia University YouTube. Everything's on YouTube, right? At a later date. We'll let you know when it's ready, and so you'll be able to visit it and watch everything that happened. I'd also like to introduce these shining stars behind me, the heart of a school, our faculty. They do important work to help our students reach this day. Let's reflect for a minute. A little over 4 years ago, when you applied for admission to the school, these faculty members were there. They were your interviewers, and I think some of them probably scared you a little bit at that time. But over the years, the 4 years that you were here, you realized that they will always be there for you. And most importantly, they are your mentors and cheerleaders. Faculty, please stand so we can give you a hand and thank you for everything you've done for the class of 2014. Please rise. Thank you. Commencement is a joyous time to recognize the accomplishments of our graduates, but it is also appropriate to recognize the people who were behind the scenes, making this accomplishment possible. Would the parents and grandparents of these graduates please stand and be recognized? Please stand. I know what a tremendous day this is for all of you. I'd also like to invite the spouses and significant others to stand, and the children, grandparents, relatives, and friends. I guess that's all 1,000 people get to stand at this point. So please stand and we'll recognize you. Don't be shy. Thank you. First and foremost, congratulations to the class of 2014, Doctor of Pharmacy and doctoral candidates. You have labored many long years, and you have done fine work. We're here tonight to honor you and wish you Godspeed on your life's journey. And you now join approximately 4,000 other School of Pharmacy alumni. Over the course of the last 4 years, you've worked hard and done really great things. You've provided health care education and services to our communities through health fairs and other outreach activities. You've also helped our community members through volunteerism efforts. Others have represented the school at state and national meetings and even presented research posters at very prestigious meetings. Some of you took some unusual adventures and traveled to South Africa, Oman, and Brazil to complete rotations. I'm sure those were experiences of a lifetime and wonderful, wonderful memories. I hope you've enjoyed your time at WVU and all those rotations and realized that the whole world is just, up and waiting for you to help improve their health. Did you ever imagine that you would ever do all this on top of classes, attending student organization meetings and activities, spending countless hours studying for exams, and even working and completing internships? Wow, to think you did all of that in 4 years is just remarkable. At your white coat ceremony, I challenged you that upon graduation, your role was to make a difference in the world. You made the choice when you applied to the School of Pharmacy, a health professions program, and in doing so, you knew that you would be helping others and be an important part of improving the quality of life for your patients. Now, this is a very exciting and challenging time to be a pharmacist. The Affordable Care Act, healthcare reform, we're not quite sure what that's going to look like. but we have to look at reform as our opportunity to work collaboratively with other members of the healthcare team to improve the health of our patients. You can make a difference. Because of your education here at WVU, you now possess the knowledge, skills, and values to improve the health of your patients. At WVU, you have developed your skills, you have found your best self, and have cultivated the ability not simply to make a living, but to make a life worth living. So begin with the end in mind. If you are like most graduates, you can reasonably expect to work for 50 years. Think about that, 2064. I can't even imagine what well, we probably will be able to fly or something by that point. So when you're sitting on your porch, sipping on your lemonade, and reflecting on your career and the wonderful journey you took, my fervent wish is that for you is that your life will be a tapestry of accomplishments and that you are proud you accepted the responsibility to make a difference in the world and to leave a legacy. Congratulations. I would now like to introduce Dr. Christopher Klenda, Chancellor for Health Sciences. Dr. Klenda challenges us each day to transform lives and eliminate health disparities. In the time he has been here, he's worked to improve our state and national standings, and I have to tell you, he has been an incredible cheerleader for the School of Pharmacy. He also has a tremendous love for students and has worked with them and to be responsive to their concerns. Dr. Klenda, please.
Thank you, Dean Chase, and let me add my thanks for your leadership as the Dean, and also my thanks and sincere congratulations to all the faculty who are here today, because you help make the next generation of pharmacy health professionals. Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. So Pat asked everybody to stand up, but I think it really is an important tribute to all of the mothers in the audience. Would you please stand and be recognized by your children, by your husbands, by your spouses, your friends? It would be very nice for us to celebrate Mother's Day perhaps 8 hours early. So please stand, all mothers in the audience. This is also a helpful memory cue for me to remind myself to call my mother tomorrow. She's 94 and is still doing fairly well by herself. So I've got some comments. I think one of the things that is important about our university is that we really do, and we are beginning to fashion what it means to be a land-grant university for the 21st century. And our new president, President Gee, has made that really one of his sentinel themes for us moving forward. We are one university. We are the model for the land-grant university of the 21st century. And he brings his greetings, and the Board of Governors of West Virginia University bring their greetings, and Dr. Robert Griffith, a member of the faculty in the School of Pharmacy, is a member of the Board of Governors. And Bob, would you please stand? I've been thinking a bit about what this university means to our country. The Morale Act was passed in 1863, which was during this nation's most dramatic and contentious period of its history. And it was the founding act that provided the justification and the authorization for developing, among all of the states, land-grant universities. And to the best of my knowledge, if you look at 1863, and when this school was founded, West Virginia University, which was 1867, I can't see other schools that have been founded between that sentinel date and 1867. So I begin to start thinking of our school as Mr. Lincoln's school. And I think that has a really important anchor to the comments that we're going to be talking about very briefly. Second is that over the last 5 years of doing commencements, I have done a series of talks from community service to leadership to professionalism to stewardship in terms of the importance of health professionals giving back to their communities and engaging in their communities in a variety of ways. But today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about looking at the future, and that future is life as exploration. I'd like to my colleagues sitting in the front of the audience, I'd like to congratulate each of you on your accomplishments that we celebrate today. Each of your journeys to this milestone has been different, and you've brought a diverse set of experiences to WVU, from your homes, from your towns, from your home countries, from your families, from your prior schools, from the jobs that you've held. Some have served in our military service. And you've also had personal encounters historically with healthcare professionals who may have inspired and shaped your views and vision for a healthcare professional a health profession's career that led you to pharmacy. Along the way, you've been supported by many people, all of whom are in this audience, by parents and siblings, and if we've done our jobs right at WVU, our faculty members will have supported you to get you to this place. But not just in learning or skills, but hopefully in opening up your eyes to a world larger and more complex than the one that you knew when you arrived at WVU. Now, as you move to the next part of your journey, your travels through life will be guided more fully by your internal compass, which is the sum of your knowledge, your values, your judgments, and experiences that you bring to every crucial turning point in your life. So I urge you to treat this journey as an explorer and not as a tourist. And there is a difference. Tourists follow the routes worn smooth by those who came before them. Explorers, in the words of Robert Frost, choose the roads less traveled. Tourists take pictures of the people and places they visit and buy souvenirs. Explorers talk with people along the way and collect experiences. Tourists are consciously separate from the places and cultures they visit. Explorers are actively engaged with their surroundings and their companions. Tourists stay safe. Explorers take risks. Now, I'm not talking about vacations, and I hope that you will have many, many, many vacations in your life. But what I am talking about is your career path and how you will approach your own personal lives. Each day you will have opportunities to explore new experiences, to engage new people, to challenge your own beliefs and those of your peers and colleagues, opportunities to make a difference. You won't see these opportunities if you have your nose buried in a guidebook. There's really no guidebook for most of what you will encounter out there. So you will have to make your own guidebook. And my experience with WVU graduates is that most of them are very well equipped to do this. And as you join the ranks of mountaineers serving the world, follow their example, explore. And send us a postcard from time to time from the road less traveled. God bless. Have a great career. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kalenda. I would now like to introduce Ms. Patricia Johnston, who will give our commencement address. Patty is a 1977 alumna of the school, graduating cum laude. The school is honored to have been able to educate 3 generations of the Johnston family, Harold, Patty, and her daughter, Katie Farrell. In 1986, Patty and her father purchased the Colony Drug and Wellness Center in Beckley. Their goal was to serve the people of this state, recognizing that within West Virginia, healthcare access depends upon community pharmacists. Today, Colony Drug and Wellness Center is a leader in providing advanced pharmacy services. They offer non-sterile compounding, disease state management programs, and wellness screenings. The wellness programs include providing patients with information to prevent diabetes and identify conditions early in the early treatable stages. Patty has made a difference in the health of the people of West Virginia. She has graciously donated her time to the school by participating as a member of our visiting committee and precepting numerous student pharmacists on clinical rotations, and I'm sure some of the graduates spent time down at Colony. In recognition of her outstanding contributions to the university and to the people of West Virginia, Patty will be inducted into the Order of Vandalia in June. This award is WVU's highest honor for extraordinary service to the institution. And this year, only 5 out of the thousands and thousands of graduates have been chosen to receive this award. So we are so proud of Patty that she is going to be inducted into the Order of Vandalia. Patty?
Thank you, Dean Chase. Good afternoon, Dr. Kalenda, Dean Chase, faculty, parents, guests, and of course you, the graduates of the class of 2014. I've attended graduation many times since I graduated myself in 1977, but it's a special thrill to be here today to speak to you as part of the centennial celebration for the School of Pharmacy. I love graduation. I love to see the procession of the graduates toward getting their degrees. I love to see the faculty in all of their academic regalia. I love to hear Pomp and Circumstances played, and later I'll get to love to hear them sing My Home Among the Hills. Every time I attend graduation, something's a little bit different. Maybe a different venue or a new seating arrangement or just something to keep me on my toes, so I have to pay attention. But it reminds me of our centennial theme for the school, honoring tradition, leading change. As Dean Chase told you, my family has a tradition. We love the WVU School of Pharmacy. My dad, Harold Johnston, graduated in 1951. And as I said, I'm a 1977 graduate. My daughter, Caitlin, is a graduate of the 2009 class. But my dad loved being a pharmacist more than anyone I have ever known. I never heard him complain about going to work. He might not have liked some of the aggravation and problems that are an inevitable part of working, but he surely loved helping people and working with his coworkers. The day my daughter Katie graduated from pharmacy school was one of the happiest days of my life. Of course, I was very proud of her for being the third generation of our family to graduate from the School of Pharmacy. But more than that, it was just a happy day because all of my family could be here together to celebrate this wonderful occasion. My husband, Larry, my mom, my sister, my nieces and their family, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and some of our very dearest friends were there to celebrate the totally joyous weekend. It was a happy memory I will hold dear forever. Now, I can't really remember that much about my own graduation. We had a small ceremony in the Health Sciences Auditorium, and then we were expected to go on to the huge graduation ceremony at the Coliseum. But I do remember that I had a photo taken in front of the pylons of what we then called the Med Center. My mom and dad were there, my sister, and my best friend since kindergarten. And it was taken by my boyfriend then, Larry Frail. I'm sure you're familiar with John Lennon's lyrics. Life is what happened when you're busy making other plans. This is what happened to me when I began to think about what I was going to talk with you today. Dean Chase called and asked me to talk back in February, and I agreed to do it without much hesitation, thinking I had plenty of time to come up with something catchy to hold your attention for 15 minutes. Wrong. Shortly after that, my mom became ill and died at the end of March. Last Friday, one of my dearest coworkers and friends died on the job. Now, you're sitting there saying, now what on earth does my heartache have to do with you today? Well, it caused me to do a great deal of, and spend a great deal of time in reflection and introspection. See, Dr. Abate's portfolios do have real-life consequences. Well, I take tons of pictures. I chronicle the mundane as well as the magnificent. I have thousands upon thousands of pictures to sort through to capture my mom's life and that of my friend Delma's. Well, because my world revolves around a family-owned pharmacy, my personal and professional life have always been intertwined. I'm not sure where one stops and the other starts. In fact, my dad and mentor even brought this together on his days off. He liked to take us for long rides in West Virginia on Sundays. And with every town we visited, we had to stop at all of the local pharmacies. So as I sorted through all of those pictures, I began to ask myself, how could I have had this much fun working all these years? It's not that being a pharmacist isn't a serious business. It is. I have had the good fortune to have spent my career working as a community pharmacist with my family and with my coworkers who became my family. Instead of making me sad, sifting through those old pictures actually lifted my spirits. It reminded me of how glad I was that I had become a pharmacist and how important this school was in making that happen. For those of you who have been to Colony or to my home, you know we leave little doubt that you have entered a West Virginia University fan zone. Our family loves all things West Virginia and all things WVU. I grew up with my father telling me stories about Professors Geiler and Berge. My daughter grew up hearing my adventures of pharmacy school. Just as my dad recruited pharmacy students, I've shared my love of pharmacy, and especially the WVU School of Pharmacy, with hundreds of high school and college students who have considered becoming pharmacists. In our family, it's tradition. And I want you to hear the rest of this, so I'm going to take a sip of water. The tradition of learning from mentors is also important. In addition to my dad, I've also had many pharmacists who have guided me along the way. My former professor, who is now one of my dearest friends, Dr. Art Jacknowitz, has been my biggest cheerleader, sounding board, voice of reason, and supporter for many years. It's this type of lifelong bond that comes from a school where you aren't forgotten after graduation. I have been a preceptor since 1978, the year after I graduated. Since then, I've spent many hours with hundreds of pharmacy students. I can honestly say that it has been one of the greatest sources of joy in my workday. This year, I've had an outstanding crop of students. They worked hard and helped me in more ways than I can count, in ways that don't usually fall into the pharmacy curriculum. We tried something new this year by offering a longitudinal rotation. This was a 15-week block where students did community, ambulatory, and compounding rotations back to back. I lucked out and got two very wonderful young students, Kelsey Bailey and Nick Gregg, to spend that time with me. They, along with the other students, Joe Michael Fusco, Amy Toller, Catherine Mabry, Brianna Vance Coker, Jenna Milgis, Jamison Radford, Nikki Howell, Kara Milburn, and Andrew Minarski were my teachers this year. We spent time with the senior citizens of Raleigh County, taking their glucose, checking their blood pressure, and just lending an ear. We joined retired mine workers enjoying a day in the sunshine and answered questions about their medications. We attended the West Virginia Immunization Summit and learned what can happen when parents don't properly vaccinate their children. We drove every winding road in southern West Virginia giving flu shots, even a couple in a parking lot. We learned from a hardware store owner what real customer service is all about. We talked to patients in an elderly high-rise about taking medications correctly. We raised money and awareness for the Raleigh County Animal Rescue. Oh yes, We filled and compounded prescriptions and took care of our face-to-face patients with diabetes. But as those of you who know, who have done rotations at Colony Drug, one of my favorite things to do is sit and regale you with stories of the olden days. I like to tell students about doing everything with a typewriter, a counting tray, and a spatula. I tell them what the popular drugs were. None of the names are familiar to them. I tell them that most people paid cash for their prescription. Now there's a concept for you. There were no computers. When my dad and I purchased Colony Drug in 1986, we were the first pharmacy in Beckley to use a computer, and it was the size of a piano. But what if we had never computerized or changed? We would have been left in the dust long ago. Pharmacy, like most professions, is dynamic. You must continue to change and grow, or you will be left behind. Critical self-analysis is key to your professional growth and advancement in the future. Yes, once again, those portfolios are in our conversation. But if there's one thing that I've learned for certain, is that everything changes. Good things change, bad things change. But it will be your ability to adapt and grow to meet the changing needs of your patients, your business, and your professional environment that will determine how you fare in the world. It will be your job to figure out what needs to be changed. Sometimes you need to anticipate the change and be proactive, not reactive. But how do we honor tradition while leading change in our world? How do we hang on to what made us who and what we are today and still be poised and ready for the future? The West Virginia University School of Pharmacy has a proud tradition of producing graduates who go on to make their mark in the world. They lead national pharmacy organizations, develop and pioneer drug therapy, found and run their own major pharmaceutical companies, do life-changing research, innovate and change the way we practice pharmacy, provide health care in regions where it is needed most, and make differences in their communities. The thing to remember today is each of them started out just like you, walking out of a room with a diploma from the West Virginia University School of Pharmacy. It goes without saying that you are entering the healthcare field in an era that's unprecedented. All of us would be hard-pressed to find a newscast today that doesn't have some mention of healthcare and its effect on our population. And it is said, to whom much is given, much is expected. So I challenge you to look at what you've been given and to honor and respect that trust. Many people helped you to get to this very spot today. Your parents, spouses, family, friends, faculty, and a host of people who donated to scholarships, travel funds, and supported school organizations. You may be sitting there muttering to yourself that you just paid for 4 years of tuition for the privilege of graduating today. That, dear graduate, is but the tip of the iceberg. The saying, "it takes a village," is particularly appropriate when it comes to education. There are hundreds of unpaid preceptors who have volunteered their time to help you gain the practical experience you needed to complete your education. They did this not for any perk or recognition that would come their way, but because they are dedicated, hardworking pharmacists who want to see the next generation succeed and improve our profession. But don't just pay it forward to your alma mater. Remember your church, your community, and those organizations that helped you become the person you are today. Give of yourself, your time, your talents, and your resources. You are a member of an exclusive elite group as you walk out these doors today. You have a great education in a healing profession. You can improve the lives of others in so many ways. Don't forget how blessed you are. And don't forget how many others have not had the privileges, advantages, and opportunities you have enjoyed. Don't get caught up in the philosophical argument of which is the more important life goal, being happy or making a difference. You have chosen a field where you can do both. What I'd like for you to leave here with today is not a sense of entitlement. Look at me, I have a PharmD, what are you going to do for me? But instead, I would like you to see and leave the School of Pharmacy with diploma in hand and ask how you can make the world just a little better place. I ask you to stay close to WVU and to the School of Pharmacy. You'll be glad you did. Your college years represent one of the most important transitions in your life. Continue to honor and cherish these times, for they will stand you in good stead for years to come. And so, graduates and my soon-to-be colleagues, my heartfelt wish for you today is that your life is filled with joy and happiness. And when it isn't, may your family, friends, and your faith strengthen you to endure. May you reap the rewards that come with a good education and the fulfillment that comes from helping others. And may you always remember that you are a West Virginia mountaineer. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. One of the most beloved West Virginia songs was written by E.W. James in 1963, "My Home Among the Hills." It evokes the pride that we feel about our beautiful state. One of my favorite lines is, "Where the sun draws rainbows in the midst of waterfalls and mountain rills, my heart will always be in the West Virginia hills." Please help me welcome our soloist again, Devin, in singing "My Home Among the Hills," listening closely to its beautiful lyrics. Devin. Thank you, Devin. Class of 2014, please join me in welcoming Abigail Rose Thornton for the student greeting. Abigail?
Okay, I promised my family I'd try to stay composed, so we'll see how far we get. Welcome, faculty, friends, and family, to the 2014 commencement ceremony for the West Virginia University School of Pharmacy. As we now make our transition from pharmacy students to healthcare professionals, We must take this time to show appreciation for all of the people in our lives that have helped us get to where we are today. On behalf of the class of 2014, I would like to thank the faculty members and preceptors who have committed countless hours to furthering our knowledge and honing our abilities. All of you played an integral role in educating us, in inspiring us, and in shaping us into the individuals that we are before you. I must also thank the family and friends who devoted their time, support, and love so that we could succeed. Without the efforts of all of you, we would not be the graduates you see here. Let us take a moment of silence now to remember those who could not be here today, but who have helped us in so many ways in our journey through pharmacy school over these past years. I am so humbled to have the opportunity to speak on behalf of such an outstanding group of graduates today. There is no doubt that pharmacy school has been a challenge. I, as I know many of you all, had never pulled an all-nighter studying prior to getting into pharmacy school, and I imagine that many of us never imagined that we could learn a SIP chart, much less all of the genetic polymorphisms that went along with them. But although these intellectual hurdles were daunting, the emotional challenges throughout pharmacy school have had the greatest influence and have left the most lasting impression. From the heartbreak of helping a patient cope with a newly diagnosed illness to the joy of seeing a patient who has struggled time and time again to manage their disease take an active role in their care, I have so many experiences that will stay with me from these West Virginia hills, as I know each and every one of my fellow classmates do. And through all of our challenges, we have succeeded. And because of these challenges, we are now more capable and more compassionate individuals than we were 4 years ago. Following graduation, no matter where we are destined to go, whether it be residency training, community pharmacy, or any other facet of the field, I have unwavering confidence that we will make positive changes, not only in the advancement of the pharmacy profession, but in the lives of the patients we see every day. Undoubtedly, we will continue to face challenges throughout our pharmacy careers. I am sure, however, that we will overcome these challenges to be effective advocates for the profession, for our patients, and for future pharmacy students. We will strive to be lifelong and self-directed learners and commit ourselves to the efforts of promoting pharmacy practice because of the lessons we have learned during our time at West Virginia University. Now is the time to congratulate and celebrate my fellow classmates for all of our accomplishments. All of us should take pride in what we have achieved during our time here. I know no matter where we go, we will always hold a place in our hearts for our West Virginia Mountaineers. Thank you.
Thank you, Abigail. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Peter Gannett, Interim Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Programs. Dr. Gannett and the major advisors of those receiving graduate degrees will recognize and hood those students who have completed the requirements for their degree. Dr. Kalenda will assist Dr. Gannett in the awarding of the diplomas.
Thank you. Will the PhD graduates please come to the stage? The graduate program in Pharmaceutical and Pharmacological Sciences in the School of Pharmacy is the largest biomedical PhD program at WVU. The program prepares trainees for research careers which enable the development of new information, technologies, and processes that are essential for the continued growth of the profession of pharmacy. During the past year, 5 outstanding students earned their PhDs. We are delighted that 4 of them could be with us today to be recognized for their achievements. Our first student is soon to be Dr. Sawati Kanduri. She is from Delhi, India. Her major advisors are Dr. Jamal Mustafa and Dr. Muhammad Naeem. Assisting with her hooding is Dr. Muhammad Naeem. The title of her dissertation is Involvement in CYP4A in Adenosine A1 Receptor Mediated Regulation of Vascular Tone. And Dr. Kanduri is currently a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Cincinnati. Our second graduate is Paliv Rain. Dr. Rain is from Mumbai, India. Her major advisor is Dr. Suresh Madhavan. Title of her dissertation is Burden of Colorectal Cancer among among elderly Medicare beneficiaries from West Virginia, a comparative analysis with SEER Medicare data. Dr. Rain will begin a postdoctoral fellowship position at Tufts Medical Center in Boston after graduation. Our third is Matthew Robson. Dr. Robson is from Waterloo, New York. His major advisor is Dr. Ray Matsumoto. Title of his dissertation is The Involvement of Sigma Receptor Modulation in the Antidepressant Effects of Ketamine and the Neurotoxic Actions of Methamphetamine. Dr. Robson is currently a postdoctoral fellow at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. And our final student is Eric Zaccone. Mr. Zaccone is from Avon by the Sea, New Jersey. His major advisor is Dr. Jeffrey Fidan. The title of his dissertation is Effects of the Popcorn Flavorings Diacetyl and 2,3-Pentadione in the Airways. Dr. Zaccone will begin a postdoctoral fellowship position with Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine after graduation.
Thank you, Dr. Gannett and Dr. Kalenda. The hooding and awarding of our Doctor of Pharmacy graduates is the next part of our ceremony. The Doctor of Pharmacy, or PharmD degree, is an advanced professional degree for pharmacists. The graduates have received an education that emphasizes a comprehensive knowledge base of diseases and the application of drug therapy to ensure positive patient outcomes. Their education has also prepared them to function as innovative leaders in the field of pharmacy. With their Doctor of Pharmacy degree, graduates will be entering a profession that has been cited for decades among the most respected professions in America. I mentioned before that we have several graduates who have family members who are pharmacy alumni. We are pleased that several of these folks will assist in the hooding of their graduate today. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mary Euler, Associate Dean for Student Services, who will read the names of the graduates. Dr. Euler.
In just a moment, I will call the graduates forward for the hooding, but I wanted to share just a little something with you. The history of academic regalia can be found in your program. However, what's not included in the description is the information about the colorful cords that adorn their regalia. So I'd like to just briefly comment on these honor cords so that the audience and family and friends can gain a perspective on the achievements of our students. The blue and gold cord, it designates University Latin Honors of Summa Cum Laude, Magna Cum Laude, and Cum Laude. The gold cord designates our University Honors College Scholars. The green and gold cord designates the Phi Lambda Sigma Leadership Society members. The purple and white cord designates the Rho Chi Academic Honor Society. And of course, red, white, and blue honors our U.S. military veterans. One final cord, a light blue cord, is the honor cord for superior contributions to the American Pharmacists Association Academy of Student Pharmacists. Will the candidates for the Doctor of Pharmacy degree please come to the stage? Jennifer Nicole Alistanos, Bridgeport, West Virginia, summa cum laude. She is also receiving a James K. J. Kent Lim Academic Achievement Award. Caitlin Marie Andrews, York, Pennsylvania, summa cum laude. Assisting with her hooding is her father, Mr. David Andrews, WVU School of Pharmacy class of 1981. Caitlin is receiving a Dean's Volunteer Service Award. Kelsey Nicole Bailey, Pineville, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Brett Mitchell Barnett, Ripley, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Megan Mary Jane Beal, Piles Grove, New Jersey, cum laude. Eric Brian Beal, McMecken, West Virginia. Matthew David Black, Wheeling, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Victoria Joe Capazzi, Clarksburg, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Victoria completed the clinical pharmacy practice area of emphasis. Thomas Andrew Carson, Sistersville, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Thomas is receiving a Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award. Casey Winfield Culp, Warrington, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Salvatore Michael DeCaria, Weirton, West Virginia, cum laude. Sarah Jo Duckwall, Inwood, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Bradley Chase Duffield, Gassaway, West Virginia. Brian David Dye, Lost Creek, West Virginia. Ryan Graham Fell, Oak Hill, West Virginia, cum laude. Ryan is receiving a Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award, and Ryan also completed the clinical pharmacy practice area of emphasis. Adam Michael Ferguson, Chesapeake, Ohio, cum laude. Joe Michael Turney Fusco, Clarksburg, West Virginia. Kirsten Ray Garman, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, summa cum laude. Kirsten is receiving a Rural Health Student Award, and Kirsten also completed the Graduate Certificate in Gerontology. Megan Elizabeth Green, Logan, West Virginia. Hooding is her mother, Mrs. Vicki Green, WVU School of Pharmacy, class of 1990. Of note, Megan is a third-generation WVU School of Pharmacy graduate. She follows her mother, Vicki, and her grandfather, Frank Smith, the class of 1959. Nicholas Frederick Gregg, Oakland, Maryland. Hooding is his sister, Dr. Robin Corliss Skipper, WVU School of Pharmacy, class of 2012, and his grandfather, Mr. Ernest John Gregg, Jr., School of Pharmacy, class of 1958. Janine Elizabeth Hardy, Dunbar, Pennsylvania, summa cum laude. Candace Renee Harris, Bluefield, West Virginia, cum laude. Hannah Bess Hartley, Martinsburg, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Shay Marie Harold, South Charleston, West Virginia, cum laude. Kayla Ann Hetrick, Fort Hill, Pennsylvania, magna cum laude. Jason Scott Hicks, Huntington, West Virginia, cum laude. Luke Jeffrey Hoffman, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Kelsey Paige Hoskinson, Bridgeport, West Virginia. Hooding is her father, Mr. Carlton Sonny Hoskinson, WVU School of Pharmacy, 1986. Chelsea Ray Houchins, South Charleston, West Virginia, summa cum laude. She is receiving a James K.J. Lim Academic Achievement Award. Erica Nicole Howell, Elkins, West Virginia, cum laude. Christopher Thomas Samuel Isabella, Flemington, West Virginia. Christopher is receiving the APHA ASP Senior Recognition Certificate. Aaron D. Jackson, South Charleston, West Virginia, cum laude. Samantha Brooke Jones, Bunker Hill, West Virginia. Emily Stacy Jordan, Cumberland, Maryland, cum laude. Abraham Kadora, Huntington, West Virginia. Christopher Anthony Kaplan, Morgantown, West Virginia. Kimberly Lynn Kimball, New Martinsville, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Hooding is her cousin, Dr. Rachel Carson, WVU School of Pharmacy, class of 2009. Brianna Jo Coer, Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, magna cum laude. Huai Tae Lee, Irvine, California. Catherine Renee Mabry, Ronceverte, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Mallow, Upper Track, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Hooding is her mother, Mrs. Lisa Mallow, WVU School of Pharmacy, class of 1985. Sarah is receiving a James K.J. Lim Academic Achievement Award, and Sarah also completed the clinical pharmacy practice area of emphasis. Justin William Martin, Portsmouth, Rhode Island, magna cum laude. Corey James Massert, Sarver, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Victoria Janelle Matthews, Murraysville, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Kara Joy Milburn, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Jenna Lynn Milgis, Irwin, Pennsylvania. Andrew Stephen Minarsik, Staunton, Virginia, magna cum laude. Teresa Wing Chi Eng, Charleston, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Christina Lauren Wen, Garden Grove, California. Mark Stephen Painter II, Cross Lanes, West Virginia. Mark is receiving a Dean's Volunteer Service Award. Emily Michelle Paetzel, Ripley, West Virginia, cum laude. Valerie Ann Palmer, Wheeling, West Virginia, cum laude. Pudding is her uncle, Mr. Louis G. Sokos, WVU School of Pharmacy, class of 1987. Stephanie Lynn Perkins, Delmont, Pennsylvania, summa cum laude. Kara Lynn Pachowski, Sutton, West Virginia, summa cum laude. She is the recipient of the Facts and Comparisons Award for Excellence in Clinical Communication. Caitlin Marie Pontor, Cranesville, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Zachary Stephen Post, Clarksburg, West Virginia, cum laude. He is also receiving a Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award. Jameson Paul Radford, Beckley, West Virginia. Brittany Shea Reed, Elkview, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Margaret Alexandra Robinson, Independence, West Virginia, cum laude. Derek Scott Robrecht, Wheeling, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Olivia Ray Rorson, Smithfield, Pennsylvania, Olivia completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Logan Kale Sanders, Wadesville, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Logan completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Andrew Robert Scott, Parkersburg, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Grant Alexander Shaddix, Mount Airy, Maryland, cum laude. Grant completed the clinical pharmacy practice area of emphasis. Amy Lee Sharp, Marlinton, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Amy is the recipient of the Mylan Excellence in Pharmacy Award. David Bradley Smith, Weston, West Virginia. Sarah K. Smith, Davis, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Chelsea Nicole Smolko, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Robert Nicholas Snodgrass, Mount Clair, West Virginia. Nathan Thomas Stemple, Parkersburg, West Virginia, cum laude. Kristen Brooke Thomas, Glen Daniel, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Hooding is her mother, Mrs. Catherine Thomas, WVU School of Pharmacy, class of 1986. She is receiving the Teva Pharmaceuticals Outstanding Student Award, and Kristen also completed the clinical pharmacy practice area of emphasis. Abigail Rose Thornton, Charleston, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Hooding is her mother, Mrs. Sandy Thornton, WVU School of Pharmacy, class of 1982. She is receiving a James K.J. Lim Academic Achievement Award and also completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Amy Nicole Toller, Mullins, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Hooding is her future father-in-law, David Vakurovich, University of New Mexico College of Pharmacy, class of 1982. Keely Michelle Toller, Mullins, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Michael Keith Underwood, Oak Hill, West Virginia, summa cum laude. He is receiving a James K.J. Lim Academic Achievement Award. Nicholas Colton Vakurovich, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Hooding is his father, David Vakurovich, University of New Mexico, College of Pharmacy, 1982. Nicholas completed the joint PharmD MBA degrees. Corey Brooke Weaver, Grafton, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Corey completed the research area of emphasis. Sean Christopher Wellman, Bluefield, West Virginia, cum laude. Kelly Ann Wickline, Fayetteville, West Virginia, magna cum laude. She is receiving a James K.J. Lim Academic Achievement Award. Matthew Taylor Young, Beckley, West Virginia. Sue D. Zhang, Romney, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Ladies and gentlemen, the WVU School of Pharmacy proudly presents the Doctor of Pharmacy candidates for the class of 2014. I would like to welcome Chancellor Kalenda back to the podium for the conferring of degrees.
Thank you. Will the candidates from the School of Pharmacy please rise? Candidates, your calling has prepared you for careers in a highly specialized and sophisticated field. Your discipline emphasizes a comprehensive knowledge of application of rational therapeutics to the management of patients. You've combined both academic and clinical practice that will enable you to provide innovative leadership in the modern health professions team. Remember, healthcare is a team sport, and you will be vitally important in terms of making sure that your patients receive rational therapeutics. As West Virginia University graduates always aspire to put your education to work in exploring our world's greatest problems. Dream big and never stop learning. Share your pride in West Virginia University wherever you go, and act as ambassadors for WVU to transform lives and eliminate health disparities. So by virtue of the authority vested in me by the West Virginia University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating our newest graduates.
Would you please be seated? There are some special awards that I would like to present at this time. The Preceptor of the Year Award recognizes those pharmacists who are committed to the experiential training of WVU School of Pharmacy students by providing them an outstanding learning experience during the last year of the PharmD program. This award is chosen based entirely on student evaluations. This year's exceptional recipient is Dr. John M. Crowley. Dr. Crowley, if you'd come forward, please. Dr. Crowley, a clinical staff pharmacist at Charleston Area Medical Center, is a 2010, so he's pretty young, pretty new. See now, your challenge is to be up here where John is. A graduate of the School of Pharmacy and has been preceptor since 2012. He precepts both IPPE and the advanced institutional rotations. To quote from one student's Preceptor of the Year nomination for Dr. Crowley, quote, Dr. Crowley is a devoted preceptor who focuses on your interests in pharmacy and provides discussions on important aspects of those interests. His attitude is highly positive and encouraging at all moments, whether it is on rounds or verifying orders in the main pharmacy. He not only creates a comfortable environment to learn in, but also teaches in a manner that evokes motivation to attain more knowledge. Another student stated, John Crowley is an example of what every preceptor should strive to become. Dr. Crowley, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and especially the students in the School of Pharmacy, we are proud to present you with the Preceptor of the Year Award. We are thankful for all that you have done to help our students have an exceptional learning experience. Thank you, Dr. Crowley. Every year, students from each class select a faculty member for an Outstanding Teaching Award. I would like to have the 2014 recipients of the Teaching Awards please come forward as I read your names. Now I'm going to ask you to hold your applause until all the recipients are announced. For the first year, the P1 year, Dr. Yanra Janasako, Professor, Department of Basic Pharmaceutical Sciences, is a recipient. Stand right there. For the second year, the P2 year, is Dr. Robert Griffith, Associate Professor, Department of Basic Pharmaceutical Sciences. For the P3 year, Dr. John Wheatholder, Clinical Assistant Professor, Department of Clinical Pharmacy. Would you do it? It was upside down. It was upside down. And for the P4 year, It's Dr. Charles Ponte, Professor of Clinical Pharmacy. Huh? Right. Congratulations. Let me get this right. Let me get this right. Okay, can we get, stop. Let me get a picture of all. I don't just be in it. A very important part of commencement is when the graduates take the oath of a pharmacist. They will also receive a copy of the oath, which is provided by the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jason Turner, President of the West Virginia Pharmacists Association, and Dr. John Wietholder, President-elect of the West Virginia Society of Health System Pharmacists. These outstanding practitioners will administer the oath. Graduates, if you would please stand.
And raise your right hand. I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy in fulfilling this vow.
I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns.
I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for my patients.
I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me.
I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence.
I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our professions, moral, ethical, and legal conduct.
I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care.
I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists.
I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. Congratulations.
You may be seated. Thank you, Drs. Turner and Wietholder. Dr. Kent Hunter will be delivering the alumni charge to our new graduates. Following Dr. Hunter's charge, Dr. Kara Milburn, doesn't that sound nice? Wow. Will present the response and a farewell from the class of 2014. Kent?
On behalf of the WVU Alumni Association and all the graduates of West Virginia University who have preceded you, I extend to each member of the class of 2014 congratulations and best wishes. Today, you're joining a legacy of success that reaches back almost 150 years. Each WVU graduate has a unique story, and now it's time to write yours. With that in mind, class of 2014, from WVU graduates everywhere, this is our charge to you. Work hard to develop your unique gifts. Take risks, don't fear making mistakes. Be flexible. Cultivate a global perspective and work towards creating a more peaceful and just world. Think for yourself and always choose to be an innovator. Explore new perspectives and places, and as you travel the world, wear your flying WV with pride. Honor the sacrifices of those who came before you and extend a helping hand to those who follow. Above all, never stop learning. And when people ask about the secret of your success, tell them you're a mountaineer. Read, explore, travel, and expand your circle of friends. As you build new friendships, take care to nurture those you made at WVU. Maintain your connection with West Virginia University and the School of Pharmacy. Show your mountaineer pride not just on game days, but every day and every place life takes you. Return to campus when you can to visit favorite professors and to relive precious memories. Because the School of Pharmacy has been in existence for 100 years, we have well over 3,000 School of Pharmacy alumni in nearly all 50 states, which means that wherever you go, you'll find fellow mountaineer pharmacists. Even so, the world of pharmacy is a relatively small one, and one key to your success will be continued networking. I encourage you to keep the School of Pharmacy up to date with your email address and contact information so that details of upcoming alumni events can be shared with you and so that your copy of the show globe will arrive in your mailbox. Additionally, the Alumni Association will look forward to welcoming you home every year at homecoming and will have a special recognition for you at your 5-year reunion in 2019. As a reminder, you've been awarded a complimentary membership in the WVU School of Pharmacy Alumni Association through the end of next year, 2015. Enjoy these gifts to you, West Virginia University School of Pharmacy's class of 2014. Thank you, congratulations, and sincere best wishes in all you do.
Thank you, Dr. Hunter. On behalf of the class, I would like to thank you and the School of Pharmacy Alumni Association for inviting us into the WVU alumni family. We will strive to give back to the school however we can and remain loyal members of the association. Good evening, distinguished members of the faculty and staff, honored guests, proud families and friends, and fellow classmates. On behalf of our entire class, I would like to start by taking this time to give one more thank you to everyone sitting in this room, and also to those who could not be here today. To our families, significant others, and friends, near and far, who have provided us with both emotional and financial support along the way. To our dedicated and caring faculty and preceptors who have taught us most of what we know and who have played an especially important role over the last year, guiding and encouraging us in the search for the right job and spending hours of their time writing letters of recommendation. To Dr. Callery, who served as our class advisor for the last 4 years and graciously allowed us to call ourselves Callery's Calvary and make a t-shirt with his face on it. Lastly, I want to extend a special thank you to Mrs. Higa, Mr. Ridgway, Dr. Euler, Mrs. Newton, Jen Clutter, and Paige for all their hard work behind the scenes making events such as this one go off without a hitch. I think all of these people deserve one more round of applause. None of us would be here today if it wasn't for all of you. My fellow classmates, our journeys began 4+ years ago when we received our acceptance letters. Throughout those 4 years, we've been there for each other through both the ups and downs. When our family was tired of hearing our complaints, we knew we could always find a fellow classmate to listen or at the very least complain with us. We were there for each other when no one else in our life truly understood what it felt like to have a law midterm, on top of an outcomes quiz, on top of a patient case lab, on top of our immunization certification exam. We have been through the sleepless nights, losses of family and friends, and other hard times, but we have also experienced many happy times together. We've shared the overwhelming feeling of joy and relief after you find out you passed the pharmacology exam that you thought you failed. Enjoyed the pharmacy formals, class picnics, and being the reigning champions of flag football. Attended weddings and welcomed babies into our class. When I look back, the laughs and good times are what I remember the most. I think it's safe to say that we had many more good times than bad. Through this all, each and every single one of us became family to each other, maybe without even realizing. At times, we felt as though we lived at the HSC. We were each other's support system and encouragement when we felt like giving up. For this, I think we owe each other a big thank you. As I sat down to write this, to put this together a couple weeks ago, I thought to myself, wow, what an incredible group of individuals I'm about to graduate with. Each one of them with their unique personalities. From the class clowns who could always make us laugh no matter how tired and grumpy we were, to the class leaders who constantly filled our inboxes with emails reminding us of upcoming events and deadlines. I have watched you serve the community selflessly. I have watched you go to the Capitol and advocate for our profession. I have watched you make differences in the lives of patients. I have even watched some of you win local, state, and national awards. It is truly my privilege to be able to call you my classmates, colleagues, and friends. Our unique personalities are also what has helped to create this amazing journey we've been on the last 4 years. A journey filled with memories I know that I, and I'm sure many of you, will never forget. But I encourage you not to think of these years as past us, but now being just a part of us. None of us will ever forget the friendships created here, and in some cases, love formed. But today we complete this journey and begin to move on. And although it may be a sad day in certain aspects, it is also a day of celebration, a day that we sometimes wondered if it was ever going to come. It is a day of new beginning filled with many opportunities, all of which we have worked very hard for and created for ourselves. We are no longer student pharmacists. We are no longer candidates. We are now doctors of pharmacy. And now that we've traded our white coats for our doctoral hoods, the feeling of pride and sense of accomplishment in all of our hearts is well deserved. You, my classmates, are going to make amazing pharmacists, and I know you will excel in whatever path you choose to take. We have many very distinguished alumni, and it is now time for us to make our mark. We have big shoes to fill, but I have no doubt in our ability to do so. We have the skills needed, the knowledge expected, and the mountaineer spirit alive in us. We are ready and well equipped to take on the challenges that await us. It is our time to go out and fulfill our desires and dreams, but I encourage you to always remember to give back and inspire others along the way as well. Tomorrow we will all go our separate ways. I hope that you will forever wear that flying WVU with pride and always reminisce on the good times that we shared together. Congratulations, my fellow doctors of pharmacy. We made it. Let the page be turned and the new chapter begin. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful farewell, Dr. Milburn. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Sarah Mallow to provide information on the Centennial Scholarship. While she comes up, I would like to also recognize Drs. Victoria Matthews, Kara Milburn, and Stephanie Perkins for their dedication to this initiative.
Two years ago, the class of 2014 launched the Centennial Scholarship Program, a novel class-funded scholarship. Due to the generosity of our classmates and other influential figures within the WVU pharmacy community, we have raised approximately $16,000. We sincerely appreciate the high-quality education and numerous opportunities we have received from the West Virginia University School of Pharmacy, and we hope that this scholarship will foster learning for student pharmacists for years to come.
Thank you, Dr. Mallow. When you think about students who are in their academic program and they're raising $16,000, that's quite a feat, and it's a tribute to the centennial class. I have never seen a class ever, and I've been a dean for 14 years, I've never seen a class be so dedicated to raising money so that other students will be able to secure their degree. Class of 2014, the last 4 years we've traveled this journey. I hope you remember the good times you had at the school. Yeah, you remember the tests, the grades, rotations, but all those things brought you here today to graduation. I know, as well as the faculty and the staff here with me today, we couldn't be prouder. So class of 2014, it's been a great journey. We look forward to your contributions as you change the world. It has truly been an honor to be your dean. I'm excited to turn the profession that I love and have loved for 43 years over to you, because I know you'll do very well and take care of all these old people like me. Family and friends, we ask that you please remain in this area during the recessional and then proceed immediately upstairs. Now, we know you're excited to see your graduates, but you know what traffic jams in Morgantown are like, and we just don't need one here. If you stop right away, if you don't let the graduates go up, we'll have a really bad traffic jam outside. So please proceed immediately to the ballroom upstairs. We have some wonderful WVU pharmacy backdrops there that will make terrific pictures with your graduate. So thank you for your understanding. Congratulations again, Centennial class, and safe travels. If everyone would please rise for the singing of the alma mater.
Almost heaven.